How much do you think you know about Nintendo? If you're complaining about their supply chain management, it's probably not as much as you think. Nintendo's one of the, if not the best, sales companies ever created. I don't even know if they know that though. Sometimes it feels like they're making mistakes the entire time and then their end result is success. Whatever they're doing over there is working. Prime example, my NES Classic Edition. I finally got one. Yay! It's still sealed. I don't want to open it. I don't know why. But I'm going to explain why Nintendo's able to do this to me over and over and over again. And shame on me for falling for it every single time. Nintendo was founded in 1889 as a playing card company making Hanafuda cards, which were a variation of playing cards that we know today. From that, they moved on to manufacturing toys, starting with the Ultra Hand, and this was created in 1966. This was their most commercially successful toy back then, but they also made other toys as well. Then once the 1970s rolled around, Nintendo saw how successful video game consoles were becoming, so they wanted to dabble in that. They first started with the Color TV Game 6 and Color TV Game 15. The numbers on those consoles represent the amount of games that came with them, and they were released in 1977. At the time, rookie engineer Shigeru Miyamoto was the person who actually helped develop these consoles. And as many people know, he later went on to create the Donkey Kong and Mario Brothers series in the arcade. Now, why am I going through such quick details with Nintendo's history? To show that this is them stepping outside of their comfort zone. When Nintendo decided to move into the electronics area, they did find a little bit of success there. And that actually made them pursue it a little bit further, so they eventually made the Game & Watch and then what became known as the Nintendo Entertainment System. Ultimately though, it's my strong belief that Nintendo still holds all its power with the toys, and they're using electronics as a launch pad to sell more toys. Nintendo is not a video game company, they're a toy company. Sure, they make video games, but that's not their priority. They are geniuses when it comes to supply and demand. Just look at these toys here that they've made over the years. They've licensed every single character they've made and made money off of everything from action figures to trash barrels to Happy Meal toys and, of course, amiibos. In related news, they've also announced that they've signed a deal with Universal Parks and Resorts to involve their characters in the theme parks. So Nintendo's not limiting it just to physical toys, but actually signing a deal with a theme park and selling things there and making money off of that as well. I can't say I blame them. I was actually wondering how long it would take them to do something like that. Nintendo's not selling me games. They're selling me the idea of a toy that's a possible collector's item, and their history of lack of supply chain management proves that this may be worth something in the long run, even though all the articles you read right now are talking about how they're increasing their supply chain. They're not. Historically, their lack of supply chain management has actually worked to their benefit because I know that they may not restock certain things. Honestly, I don't think I'm going to open my NES Mini until I actually see some on store shelves. Until that moment, this thing's staying in the box, because once you open it, you can't go back. Once you realize that Nintendo is a toy company and not a video game company, you start to understand their marketing decisions and the supply chain management a lot better. I'm not saying they're right, but it's working. It's worked for them for a long time, and I don't see a reason why it's going to stop working anytime in the near future. Nintendo is able to move a herd of people into places that Sony and Microsoft could only dream of doing. When was the last time you saw another video game company running short of stock on toys? And sure, at launch, the PlayStation runs out and the Xbox runs out, but they're quickly replaced. But Nintendo tries to be more concise with how their shortages run and making sure there's always just a little bit less than what the demand is. Nintendo always charts their own course throughout history, and I don't see that changing anytime soon. And in a way, I'm okay with that. Now you guys are probably thinking I'm crazy for having an NES Mini and not opening it, but Nintendo's got me wrapped around their finger apparently because I keep falling for everything that they sell, and I'm not even mad. Anyways, I hope this video was able to help explain why Nintendo's supply chain is always terrible, and how to look at them differently as a company. Because they're not bad people, they just do things a lot differently than everyone else. And at times that can be infuriating, but they also provide some of the most entertaining content you're gonna find, so take the good with the bad. That's all I got for today, guys, so hope you enjoyed it and learned a little something about Nintendo's history. Have a good one.